Hey folks, welcome to my channel Number Pen. There we have the problem on our screen. Differentiate the following y equal to sine square cos kx, right? So we have three functions which I can see inside y, right? So we have a cos kx, and then we have a sine function, and then we have a square function as well, right? So our function sine square cos kx can therefore be solved by chain rule. And what is that substitution that we will have to make in order to reduce y to a much simpler equation whose derivative we can establish by first principles, or we can quickly arrive at yeah. So I'm going to do the substitution u equals cos of kx, right? And when I do this substitution and put it back in y, what do I get? Y equals, I get sine square of u, right? Now, looks like this is a problem where we will have to apply chain rule twice, right? Because even when I do this particular substitution and I replace my cos kx with a u, my y still has two functions. One is a sine function and another is a square function, right? So the way we're going to solve this now is first solve for dy by du, right? So let us solve for dy by du first, and then I will come back to dy by dx. So when we solve for dy by du, the way to solve this problem is, apply chain rule again, right? And when I apply chain rule again, what is that substitution I will have to make, right? Substitution that I will have to make is call the substitution by v, and the substitution that I'll have to make is v equals sine of u, right? So my y again is now expressed as v, right? And what is y in terms of v? It is v square, right? So what is my dy by dv? My dy by dv is nothing but dy by du into, sorry, what is my dy by du? My dy by du is nothing but dy by dv into dv by du, right? So my dy by dv we're quite familiar with, and I'm going to highlight it using a different color, say green. And my dy by dv is, I'm going to put it out here. My dy by dv is d by dv of y, which is d by dv of v square, which is nothing but 2v, right? And then I have my dv by du, which I will again write it here. We know what is our v in terms of u, right? So what is my dv by du? My dv by du is nothing but d by du of sine u, which is cos u, right? So there I have my dy by dv and my dv by du, and I'm going to call this with our yellow color. So I have my dv by du, and then I have my dy by dv, and then I will have to figure out what is my dy by du. So my dy by du is nothing but dy by dv into dv by du, right? Which is 2v times cos of u, right? So now I have an expression in terms of v and u. So I will have to put back everything in the form of u, right? because our original expression, though it was y equals sine square cos x, right now we are dealing with this particular expression which has got y in terms of u, right? I'm highlighting this, folks. Probably I'll call it by turquoise. So we are dealing with y equals sine square of u, and therefore when I have this answer 2v cos u, I'm going to put back everything in terms of u, sine u, cos u, right? So that is what I have. So that's my dy by du. Now I have my dy by du. I will have to figure out what is my dy by dx, right? So I'm going to write down what is my dy by dx. My dy by dx is nothing but dy by du into du by dx, right? So I have my dy by du. What is my dy by du? I pick it out from here. It is nothing but 2 sine u cos u. And then I will have to figure out what is my du by dx. To figure out my du by dx, I go back to this line where I substituted u equals cos x. So my du by dx is nothing but minus of sine kx into k, right? Because I pick up the cos function, I differentiate it, I have a minus sine kx, right? And then I go ahead and differentiate what is inside the cos function. I have a kx, and what happens is d by dx of kx is nothing but k, right? Therefore I have my du by dx is minus k sine x, right? This is also an application of the chain rule where you have two functions. Function 1 is cos and function 2 is kx, right? Now, I'm not going to work this out because by now you're quite familiar with how to approach a problem when it comes to chain rule. So I'm not showing this step explicitly. So I have my du by dx, I have my dy by du. So I go here and put back my du by dx, right? So I have a k, and then I have a minus sign, and then I have a sine kx, right? So there I have my final answer, dy by dx. But again, looks like we have it in terms of u and x. So I remove my u by putting back what is my u, right? So my u is cos kx. So my final answer is 2 times sine of cos kx into cos of cos kx into sine kx, right? So that's my final answer. Let's bracket this out to avoid confusion, right? Let me highlight this in pink, which is the usual color we are using in all these problems to denote our final answer. So my final answer is minus 2k sine of cos kx dot cos of cos kx dot sine kx, right? So I hope you found this content useful. Please do subscribe to my channel and support. Thank you.